she's a great player. She's a high IQ player. She adjusted really quickly to this league. Unbelievably quick to this league. And now it's about becoming not just a great player, but becoming a great leader for this team so that we can win not just a championship, but championships. And what does that look like?
The gloves are off, and Stephanie White isn't holding back. She's about to expose every lie Sheryl Swoopes has been spreading about the Indiana Fever, and trust me, it's going to be huge. Swoopes, in her latest podcast, has been making...
Personally, here's where I think they didn't do a very good job, and that was with Kelsey Mitchell, who's an unrestricted free agent, because Kelsey Mitchell had a hell of a season this season, and I don't think she got the credit that she deserved.
Making bold claims from Kelsey Mitchell's role on the team to Caitlin Clark's impact. White is setting the record straight, and she's giving us an insider's look at the Fever's locker room that will make you question everything Swoopes has been saying. Let's rewind.
They're all hungry to grow and hungry to improve and hungry to be coached and hungry to win. And when you have three foundational players and your big three that have that mindset, have that mentality, and great things can happen.
And to earlier this year, when Sheryl Swoopes made some puzzling comments about Caitlin Clark. She claimed Clark was in her 5th year at Iowa when, in reality, it was her 4th season. This was the same season Clark was breaking records with her NCAA scoring feat. Swoopes also predicted...
So are you surprised by Caitlin Clark and the Fever's improvement since the Olympic break? 20 points, 8.4 assists, 6 rebounds.
That's crazy.
But 5.6 turnovers.
Those are hell of a number.
Those are hell of a number.
But to me, that's not dominating.
Clark's game wouldn't translate to the WNBA, but when Clark hit the court for her rookie season with the Indiana Fever, she proved Swoopes wrong. Clark's freshman stats were phenomenal: 19.2 points, 5.7 rebounds, and an impressive 8.4 assists per game. She won Rookie of the Year and made the All-WNBA first team. White.
And she's hungry to grow and hungry to get better. And so, number one, again, that two-way communication. It's been a long time since I've played. So players that are on the floor, they know, right? Like they get a sense, they get a feel of what's working, what's not. My first conversation with her about X's and O's the other day, I was just like, okay, well, how do you want to improve? Like, what are some of the things that you want to improve on? And then we'll talk about how we want to do that. And then I talked to her about how I think we can use her to help her be more efficient. Help her be more effective, to help our team be better in general.
The Fever's head coach praised Clark's smooth transition and immediate impact. Seeing what Swoopes couldn't, Clark was elevating her teammates and leading the Fever to their first playoff appearance since 2016. As Clark's success became undeniable.
I've never seen in the NBA a player that can throw the ball ahead on the break better than her. Or him. Anyone. I had Isaiah, I had Hall of Fame point guard. Never anyone better than her. I also think that, like a lot of my great point guards, Hall of Famers, she could play off the ball so well because she knows how to move without the ball, and it wouldn't tire her out.
Swoopes shifted her narrative. She moved away from her original prediction about Clark's WNBA prospects and began focusing on other aspects of Clark's career. But this wasn't a one-time slip. It was part of a larger pattern where Swoopes repeatedly made bold claims without solid evidence. From Clark's college career to her WNBA future, Swoopes' predictions continued to miss the mark. And Swoopes wasn't done. She then turned her attention to the entire Fever organization, ready to make even more controversial statements. Swoopes painted a picture of a team in disarray.
That players are like, this ain't where I want to be.
Over there.
Yeah. So you have players that are very significant on this Indiana Fever team that are like, I don't
want to be here.
Suggesting players were eager to leave due to Caitlin Clark's presence. But was she talking about the right team? Perhaps she was confusing the Fever with the Sky or Aces. In contrast, Stephanie White, the Fever's head coach, didn't mince words when addressing the team's culture. White praised the chemistry, work ethic.
According to league sources, Weatherspoon had lost the locker room because of a culture that catered to the needs of a few players. Dear Lord.
And Clark's
what is going on in their locker room? Like, this Aces team is falling apart. This is not a coach that I would want to play for.
Positive impact on the group, a far cry from the divided locker room Swoopes described. When you speak to Fever players, a different story emerges. Lexi Hull and Erica Wheeler both highlighted how Clark's presence has...
I don't think that any one of us can really probably understand, what she goes through on a daily basis. She carries a heavy load, right? With our league and with her abilities, certainly. But where we are from this tipping point in the WNBA and from popularity.
Boosted team morale. Hall relies on Clark for confidence and positivity, while Wheeler describes how Clark's humor lightens tense moments during games.
She's all like, she'll just throw out comments that are just funny.
That's not drama, that's team building. From management to players, the message is clear: the Fever are united.
All we do is have fun. With Caitlin Clark, who never takes anything serious, like I tell people all the time, she's really a kid at heart.
Their locker room isn't a ticking time bomb, it's a place of growth, support, and laughter. But Swoopes wasn't done. She set her sights on Kelsey Mitchell, another key player for the Fever, and made some wild claims. Mitchell's breakout season was remarkable: 19.2 points per game, 40% shooting from three, and helping the Fever reach the playoffs for the first time in 7 years. Yet, Swoopes suggested that the Fever didn't give Mitchell the credit she deserved. Was there any truth to this?
This season. And I don't think she got the credit that she deserved.
Let's look at the facts. Mitchell's field goal percentage of 46.8% was the best of her career. But it wasn't just about personal stats. Mitchell played a crucial role in ending the Fever's playoff drought. So, did the Fever overlook Mitchell? Not according to team president Kelly Krakoff, who called her a cornerstone of the team. Mitchell was recognized for her contributions, and analysts pointed out that playing alongside rookie sensation Caitlin Clark only boosted Mitchell's scoring opportunities. Far from feeling neglected, Mitchell expressed deep gratitude toward the Fever organization and her teammates. So,
it's really exciting. I mean, certainly, you think about Kelsey Mitchell, and she's been through the lulls in the Indiana Fever franchise, and now to be on the other side of that, as a cornerstone. And every team has a big three, right? And you think about having a great wing like her, and a great point guard, and a generational player in Caitlin Clark, and a great post player in Aaliyah Boston. And
what's the truth here? A star player in her prime, a team that values her contributions, and a narrative from Swoopes that just doesn't align with reality. It's a reminder that sometimes
we wouldn't be where we are today without Kelsey Mitchell. I mean, she's clearly a very foundational piece. She's got 7 years of being in and out of this building. She went through a lot.
The most dramatic stories are the ones that exist only in speculation. But Swoopes wasn't finished. She turned her attention to the departure of Christy Sides, the Fever's former head coach, and made some surprising claims about it. Sides had led the Fever to their first playoff appearance in 7 years but suddenly found herself out of a job. Swoopes suggested that Sides was overwhelmed by Caitlin Clark's rise and deserved more respect.
I've always kind of flew under the radar. I've always kind of been that person or that player, very conservative, very an introvert. So now I get to see the flip side of it. And it's kind of funny. I can laugh about it because I know it's come from a genuine place, but I embrace it from a standpoint of like people not guaranteed to see me play, and now that they do, I just hope I do right by it,
However, the Fever's official statements told a different story. Krakoff praised Sides for her tremendous dedication during her tenure. This didn't sound like a team throwing someone under the bus, did it? Krakoff made it clear that the decision was made to remain bold and assertive in the pursuit of the team's goals, which included bringing a WNBA championship back to Indiana. The move wasn't about punishing failure, it was a strategic decision to position the team for future success. Enter Stephanie White, the new head coach, with a history of success and a coaching philosophy centered around communication and player development. So what really happened with Sides' departure? The Fever.
I think Christy did as good of a job as she could have. Managing all of the craziness, all of the Caitlin mania, all of the hype, all of the media. It was just so much that came with that.
Call me a conspiracy theorist, but it's not lost on me that the day after Christy Sides is let go is the day that Stephanie White stepped down from coaching in Connecticut.
Fever made a tough but professional decision in pursuit of championship dreams. And with all these claims swirling, you might wonder how the team really felt about it all. Turns out, the Fever players had their say. Lexi Hull, as Caitlin Clark's teammate, had a front row seat to everything happening in the locker room. And let me tell you, her perspective sets the record straight on Swoopes' claims. The water.
I can't say anything bad about the job that Christy Sides and her staff did. I mean, she did everything she was hired to do and then some, through tough, a tough first year of Caitlin and all the attention and everything that went with that. I mean, I give them a lot of credit.
Paul didn't hold back. She painted a picture of a team that was united, not divided. We play harder for each other because we know we've got each other's backs, she said. And this wasn't just talk. Hull shared stories that showed just how close-knit the Fever really were. Remember all that talk about Caitlin Clark causing tension? Hull had something to say about that too. She revealed that Clark's presence.
Christy Sides did a great job, and as we move forward, my thought process was how do we maximize what we have, and how do we jump on this opportunity now?
Actually boosted team morale. I can count on her to keep me confident and positive, Hull shared. That's a far cry from the divisive figure Swoopes tried to portray. But it wasn't all serious business. Hull also let us in on some of the lighter moments.
Trying to think outside the box, not be tunnel visioned in how we do things, putting players in positions to be successful, using what we have to our advantage instead of what we don't. And really trying to reverse engineer in some ways the way that I think about the game, and the positions that we can put our teammates and our players in to be successful.
That defined the Fever's season. Picture this, a tense practice, everyone focused, and then suddenly the music blares. The team had fun, even during tough times. If one player had an off night, the others were quick to offer positive reinforcement. It's the kind of support system that championship teams are built on. The contrast between these first-hand accounts and Swoopes' claims couldn't be starker. While Swoopes painted a picture of discord and drama, the Fever players described a locker room filled with laughter, support, and genuine camaraderie. This wasn't just about proving Swoopes.
She sees the game at a bigger scale, obviously with the platform that she's created for herself, and then that's transitioned to the game. It's huge. And I think, for me, especially as a point guard and as someone that's delivering a lot of the passes that lead to shots, if I miss, she's definitely going to say, you got the next one. I can count on her for keeping me confident and positive. So yeah, I think that shows the player that she is and the leader she is as a point guard.
It's wrong. The Fever's united front sent a powerful message. They weren't just defending Clark or the team culture, they were showing the world what they were made of. This was a group that had each other's backs, on and off the court. As the dust settled on this latest chapter of the Fever saga, one thing became crystal clear: this team was stronger than any rumor or controversy thrown their way. They faced the noise head-on and came out even more united. But with all the talk about team chemistry and player bonds, a big question still loomed: what did this mean for the Fever's future? How would this newfound unity translate to on-court success?
There was one practice, Christy turns on loud music, because I can't remember where we were going, but we knew the arena was going to be loud. And so she turns on this loud music, and Caitlin screams, she's like, "Can someone turn it off? It's giving me a migraine." And everyone's like, what? And Christy reacted and said, "What did you say?" And she repeated it. And all of us were just we were all dying, because if I would have said that, if anyone on our team would have said that and then been asked, "What did you say?" and you repeat it, no one else is repeating it, but she did. And it was the funniest thing. We're all rolling on the ground laughing.
Well, new head coach Stephanie White had some thoughts on that, and trust me, you're going to want to hear what she has to say. Fresh off her successful stint at Connecticut, including Coach of the Year honors, White brought a new vision.
All of us just kind of stuck together, trusted the process, and realized that the start of the season isn't the biggest deal. It's how we finish and how we get better. And really proud of just the resiliency of the group.
Into the Indiana Fever. She saw in Caitlin Clark not just a great player, but a high IQ athlete who had quickly adapted to the WNBA. White envisioned Clark as a future leader who could guide the Fever to multiple championships. White's approach was player-centric, focusing on building strong relationships with key players like Kelsey Mitchell and Aaliyah Boston. Her first conversation with Clark wasn't about plays or strategies, it was about how Clark wanted to improve. This approach empowered the players and fostered open communication. White's strategy was clear: play with great pace and allow players to use their instincts.
The biggest thing is finding people to kind of get you out of that cycle and get you to thinking about the positive things.
Make plays, not run plays, White stated, hinting at a dynamic style of basketball. She also integrated analytics into defensive strategies, creating a mindset focused on communication and commitment to defense. White's championship experience with the Connecticut Sun and her track record of developing talent hinted at exciting possibilities for the Fever. "Our goal is to win championships and hang banners," she declared, emphasizing her commitment to creating a lasting legacy. White's dedication to Clark's development was evident. She had been following Clark's career since 8th grade and maintained relationships.
I'm not one of those coaches that is going to be set in her ways. Not one of those coaches that that isn't, I'm willing to try new things.
Relationships with her college coaches. This attention to detail spoke volumes about White's commitment to nurturing Clark's talent and integrating her into the Fever's system. As White laid out her vision, it became clear the Indiana Fever were aiming for greatness. With White at the helm, Clark leading on the court, and
what's your approach when you're coaching greatness like that?
Yeah, I think first and foremost, just talking basketball, right? Just having general basketball conversations. About what she's watching, what she likes, what are some of the things that what are some of her thoughts from, not just what the Indiana Fever have done, but from the game of basketball in general.
A roster full of talent and potential, the future looked bright. Fans and critics alike were left wondering, could this be the dawn of a new era for Indiana basketball? As the dust settles on Sheryl Swoopes' claims, the real Indiana Fever story shines through. Picture this: the team huddled together, sharing laughs and stories over a post-practice meal. That's the Fever spirit. Looking ahead to 2025, the excitement is palpable. Stephanie White's vision of championships isn't just talk, it's rooted in a roster bursting with.
I also want our players to use their instincts and to play free. We want to make plays, not run plays, right? We want to have sets that give us certain spacing that we want, depending upon our rotations, who's on the floor, who we want to attack, what matchups we want to get to, how can we manipulate them. So we'll have certain play calls that just give us space to operate. And then whichever play we make, whichever pass we make determines, one of 3 actions that our players can read from. And so really giving them the freedom to play within a system.
Talent. Caitlin Clark's immediate impact, combined with Kelsey Mitchell's scoring and Aaliyah Boston's dominance in the paint, has fans on the edge of their seats. The Fever aren't just showing up, they're aiming for greatness. With White's leadership and a united locker room, they're poised for something special. Are you ready for this new era of Indiana basketball? Because it's already here and it's about to get even more thrilling. Do you agree? Let us know in the comments, like, subscribe, and turn on all notifications so you never.
It's our job then as coaches to continue to put them in positions to succeed, and our job as a franchise to put the pieces around them that will fill some of the gaps and fill some of the holes, and ultimately our goal is to win championships and to hang banners.
Never miss out. Click the video on the screen, and we'll see you in the next one.